In today's video, how to handle competing in multiple shows in a short time frame.
All by myself.
Hey guys, what's going on? This is Paul Ravella from Physique.com, and today's video is brought to you by Instagram Stories. That's right. I was about to shoot a video and I thought I had a topic in mind, and I thought, you know what, I'm gonna put it out there on Instagram. So I went on my Instagram Stories. So if you're not following me, whatever, at Paul Ravella on Instagram. And I just said, hey, if you guys have any thoughts, questions, ideas on a video for today, let me know. And I got so many great responses. I probably have video content for the whole week. You know, sometimes I get caught up in trying to make videos that I feel like will get searched or that have like mass relevance. But I really like these micro topics that are kind of specific to a very narrow population, right? Competitors. This video is going to be about what to do when we have multiple competitions within a short time frame. And I get asked this question quite a bit, and I work with a lot of clients that do multiple shows in a short time frame. So I feel like I have a lot of information to provide in this arena. So thank you for the great question, and let's talk about just how to approach that. So there's a couple different scenarios, okay? So we're gonna talk about the scenario where you do a show and you do a show the next weekend, and also the maximum amount of time that I think you should do between shows, maybe 3 to 4 weeks, right? And we'll get more into that in just a second. But that first show, you have the show. Most typically shows are on a Saturday. So let's say you have your peaking, you have your show on Saturday. Usually after a show, it's a bit of a celebration, right? It's on, bitches, let's go out and get some martinis and a burger and some fries. Well, we have to change our thinking a little bit, and you'll do that during prep. During prep, you won't think of the first show as the end. Typically, the celebrating, the going out, having some food and drinks and all that stuff happens when the season is over, right? But if you're doing another show, season's not over. And if you don't know when the season's gonna be over, it helps to have a plan. And what I usually like to tell my clients is, you know, based on how peak week went. So we peaked for the show, we got on stage, we did our thing. The rule of thumb is, I tell my clients, go out the night of the show, have whatever you want. But hear me out, pick a meal. I don't mean have whatever you want, 15 items on the menu. Pick one item that you've been craving. If you are a pizza person, if you are a burger person, if you are a sushi person, if you are an ice cream person, okay? Let's be responsible. Let's go out to eat. Let's be social, because there's gonna be most likely people there supporting you, and you wanna go spend time with them, right? So we're gonna go out with them. We're gonna choose a meal that's responsible. If it's a burger and fries, maybe we skip the massive dessert, okay? If you would prefer to have the bigger dessert, maybe we just have a nice smaller meal with some chicken and rice, and then we save a lot of the calories for the dessert, right? That's it. Then you're done. Then Sunday morning, you're back on it. You're back in peak week. So we're probably in the gym training, because I tend to taper down cardio and training as the week progresses going into the show. We might even train the day of the show depending on how prep went, how peak week is going, but Sunday is definitely going to be a hard day in the gym, okay? We're gonna get back at it. We're gonna get restabilized. We're gonna have a set macro plan, a set plan for everything. Check in again daily. I check in daily during peak week, sometimes twice a day, morning and night, right? I wanna know how you're looking during the week. This data that we're gonna learn from all of peak week, along with how the show went, is going to give us some input on what we do the week ahead. It's a very fluid situation. I don't write out 2 weeks worth of peaking, right? I'll write out peak week, that might be fluid, that might be changing, and then all the information that we gather from that, along with feedback from the show, how you did, the goal for the next show. If it's 1 week away, bang, we're right back into it. So I'm probably gonna have Sunday, Monday, maybe Tuesday be full on gym days, like crushing it, getting back to it. Then we wanna taper down the intensity a little bit again, heading into that next show, making sure you're rested, recovered, and ready to look your best. Let's talk about like a 2, 3, or 4 week approach, okay? Because it's a little bit more time. It's a little bit of time where you can feel like I can cut loose a little bit and things can come back, tighten up. I'd rather avoid that. I'd rather treat that first show like just a part of the process, a part of prep, right? So yes, we're gonna peak for that show. We're gonna get fantastic results. But one thing I've learned over the years is that the peak week can give us so much feedback, because most of the time I can be a little bit more aggressive with adding calories, reducing cardio, and see an improvement in the physique, which allows me then to use that data to create the weeks following. So although we're not technically in peak week the weeks following, we're going to maybe follow a same peak week protocol, maybe higher calories, reduce cardio for a little bit. These types of diet breaks, the stress of the show being off, all of the things that go into a second show. Sometimes if it's your first show and your second show, just the amount of stress reduced from the anxiety associated with not being familiar with what to expect backstage, what's gonna happen with my tan, my hair. These are all very, very crazy things if you've never competed before. If you just did a show last week, when you show up for the next show 2, 3, 4 weeks later, you have all that stuff learned. You're comfortable with it. You know what's gonna happen. You know you're gonna get on stage. You know you're gonna hit your poses. Sometimes that stress, very frequently going into that next show, allows you to look better. In fact, I would say without a doubt, the first show of the season for any athlete is typically not the best look. Someone that stays on their diet a little bit longer but has that diet break of peaking and the stress reduction of the show, going into the next show, they just come in more confident. They come in a little bit leaner, a little bit harder. We have more input, more data from the peak week ahead. I am a huge fan of doing multiple shows because I understand how the body works during this period of time. I understand that peaking is not about pulling out water, using diuretics, stripping the body. You know, I hear horror stories of girls telling me like during peak week they faint, they pass out, they feel terrible, it's the worst they've ever felt. If you feel the worst you've ever felt during peak week, then fire your freaking coach because he's an idiot, okay? That is not how peaking should be done. The goal coming into peak week should be to look your best on stage. That work should have been done in the months leading up to peak week. If you're doing drastic measures during peak week, your prep was a failure. Bottom line. All right, guys, that's gonna be it for me today. I hope you're having an awesome week, but I've got a lot of material. So yeah, I'm gonna probably be doing some videos this week, some like micro topics like this. And if you're interested in having your idea be a video this week, post it up on Instagram, use the hashtag AskCoachPaul, or reply to my Instagram story that I just posted, and I'm gonna take some notes this week and do some stories because these micro topics, they're my jam. All right, guys, have a great day. Have a great week, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.
All by myself.